On TV, on radio, and on your smartphone. This is Talk TV. Talk TV News at 3.
Many social media sites like Instagram do not permit under 13s to sign up, while accounts for over 18s have limited functionality. But researchers found children were faking their ages to get around these rules. Ofcom says this increases the risk of children seeing content which may be inappropriate or harmful. Let's speak to Parven Kaur, founder of Kids and Clicks, helping parents to keep up with the latest online trends. Parven, afternoon to you.
Hi there.
My own kids are a bit young for this. They're like 4 and 8, although the 8-year-old is, aware of it all. My mate's got kids who are teenagers, and he said, quote, "It's a nightmare trying to police this stuff because he thinks he's super parent and he knows his way around all the system so he can stop them getting into X, Y, and Z. But it doesn't always work. Kids are cleverer than we think."
Yes. And I think, first of all, I think it's very important for us to actually understand the age of social media and where 13 became the age of social media. So this basically came about from a data protection law. So according to the Children Online Privacy Protection Law, online services cannot collect the personal information of any user below the age of 13, and hence 13 became the age of social media. So it actually has nothing to do with the content that is actually presented on the platform. And an Ofcom research suggested that only 4 out of 10 parents are actually aware that a child should be at least 13 years old to be on social media. So alarmingly, majority of parents do not even know that 13 is the minimum age of social media. Now, this is a law that has been passed on in the 1990s. So it's quite outdated because if you think about the internet in the 90s and that we have now, it's very, very different. And what is even more confusing in all of this is that children can actually have multiple accounts as well. So a lot of children will create one account for their parent, that is what their parents see what they're doing on social media, but might have a completely different account that they show their friends and their other life. And that kind of makes it even harder. But I think it's the basic education that is needed first. So I think parents themselves need to know what is actually, what apps actually their child is trying to access to, and actually, get a little bit of time to actually know whether it's age appropriate for their child or not, because social media apps are just not designed for children.
Correct.
Full stop. They're just not designed for children at all.
And how are they? How are they getting through the ID check? Because again, to quote my mate, he was saying that some ID checks are click here if you are over 18. So it's not really a thorough ID check.
No, not at all. And that is the biggest problem. In fact, there was a Democratic senator in the US that suggested that the age should be increased to 16. But I feel that wouldn't change anything at all because there is no proper age verification system in place. Whether a person is 21 or whether a person is 5, the social media company does not have an official way to actually find out what the age of the person that has signed up. All you need to do is just lie about it. Get to know, the age that makes you, at a minimum of 13 and just signed up on it. So there's no actual way to actually find out what, an age verification system in place. Yeah.
Which seems extraordinary that, we live in a world where we can do all manner of things with computers and algorithms, but we can't stop young kids accessing site that could be violent, it could be sexual, it could be sexist, it could be racist, it could be anything. And we know this kind of stuff turns adults often into morons. So Lord knows what it could do to a young mind, Parven. This is pretty dangerous territory and no one can control it.
No. And I think that is why I think parents just play a very important role in protecting their children online. Obviously, there's sort of many different stakeholders that are involved in this. You've got the government, you've got schools, and you've got parents as well. But I think at the minimum, what parents can do is that be aware that, okay, if your child is not 13, you just need to put a full stop and say, no, you are not being on social media. Now, yes, that can cause friction and breakdowns in families and so forth, and all of that. But sometimes you've got to make that hard rule for your children. Below 13, no social media. Now, what happens if your child is actually at the age of 13-year-old?
Sure.
Age is just a number. If you look into Molly Russell, she took her life at the age of 14. She was at that legal age to be on social media, yet she was not emotionally, mentally ready for the type of content that she actually saw on the platform.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that goes into this. If your child is 13 years old and want to be on social media, first of all, you need to have an agreement with your child that actually outline details on what, when, how, pre-approved app that they can actually use. Are they willing to share their passwords with you? Are they willing for you to have a parental control
Yeah.
apps in place? So there's so many things that you need to unfold here. But more importantly, for a child that wants to be on social media, I think a parent need to ask themselves is that, am I ready to be in that digital world with my child? It's not about creating a profile for your child and then leaving them with that account, but rather, are you ready to spend the time to learn about the app that your child is going to be on, to be in that journey with your child? Because that takes a lot of time and that
Yeah.
takes a lot of effort, and that is where the difficulty is.
Absolutely. Parveen, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it. Parveen Kaur, founder of Kids and Clicks, helping parents to keep